Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 224 is brought to you by Nebula and Lemmy B, some of our esteemed Patreon patrons. This episode is also possible thanks to our producers, For the Whim, Tiger Yudi, Tab, Mikey Toe, and Lazy Villager Megan Leslie. This week, Nina, Sergio, and I are happy to debut our new Haken artwork for the month of March 2022. For our main topic, we'll be discussing online in Animal Crossing, and especially in New Leaf. So to begin, hello Sergio, how are you doing?
Hi Chewy, I'm doing well. I have a controversial thought. I'm happy that the snow is gone in New Horizons.
Oh,
Or unless you agree.
Over.
I'm not sure that's controversial.
No, I mean, I think it gets kind of tired by the end of this month. I think I mostly like the snow when it's actually snowing. Like, outside of those conditions, I'm just so much less interested. It looks so much prettier when it's snowing. And so every time it's not snowing, I'm just like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Why are you here? Nina, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good, actually. Good.
Nice.
Awesome. You're almost on spring break too, right?
I realized that halfway through last week. And was like, all I have to do is get through next week, and then I have a week off.
Nice.
So it's
Freedom.
Yeah.
Us too. We're gonna be on spring break at the same time.
Whoa, because it's kind of like not the normal spring break, so that's interesting.
Yeah. I guess, because it's only March.
Yeah.
Like early March.
Yeah.
It's not even spring at this point, right?
Right. Well, like my mom teaches public school, and hers isn't until April.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's really early.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into our normal icebreakers, I did want to ask both of you, favorite starters. They just got shown off in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. That was an announcement just this morning.
Yes.
Sergio, I feel like you have an answer already.
Yes, it's Espirgatito, and I love the name. It cracked me up. Like, I burst out laughing the second I read it. I love it. I love the character and the name.
Wait, I haven't seen the names. There's names?
There are names.
Yes.
Yes. There's the cat, Sprigatito, which is what are they going for with this SPRI part? The last part's kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. What?
And then
I
the next
wonder.
one is Fuecoco, which is like a cocodrilo, which is a crocodile.
Uh-huh.
A little crocodile. And then the last one, is it just Quaxly?
What?
Quaxly?
Or Quaxley?
Quaxly,
Yeah.
yeah. It's the foreign exchange student. Somewhere.
Oh, it's Sprig Gatito so it's like a little sprig.
Like a sprig.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that
not.
makes sense.
Yeah, you got to add that G. That G is shared.
Yes,
Yeah,
shared
yes.
shared in between. That makes sense. Okay. And then Quaxly is a foreign exchange student from somewhere else. It's
Well, it's got that
ye-
X in it. Maybe it's like Don Quixote or something.
Oh yeah, I guess that could be
Ah.
true.
I don't know.
So Nina, I know I'm going to put you on the spot here because I know before you didn't have a favorite yet.
Mm-hmm.
Sergio posted the picture. Who's your fave?
So I usually lean Leaf. Almost always. Like Chestnut and Rowlet. Oh my gosh, I love those little babies. I even loved oh my gosh, what was the little monkey's name? Oh, I've lost it. I think it started with a G. Grookey. I was about to call him Grogu. Grookey. He was my favorite too. But gosh, I think I might have to go Leaf again. I'm very interested in the fire starter, which I almost never am interested in the fire starter. But there's something about that little weirdo in the middle. I don't know. I love the cat too, though. But it's like almost too elegant. It's like Litten. Doesn't it look just like Litten?
I mean, yeah, I guess pretty similar to that. The fire starter gives me like real Bub and Bob from Bubble Bobble vibes.
Yes.
Like those little green and blue
Excuse me?
dinosaur things.
Say that one more time.
Bub and Bob
From Bubble
from
Bubble?
Bubble Bobble.
What?
Yeah, Bubble Bobble. You never played some Bubble Bobble?
I don't know that game.
Oh man, Bubble Bobble's great. So is Super Bust-A-Move or Bust-A-Move if you ever played those.
Okay.
Amazing. Little dinosaur critters. But okay. Two generations in a row, I've got the exact same preference for the starters. And it's grass, fire, water. Like the last two, I've really liked the grass starters. Grookey I thought was adorable. They all evolve and become disgusting.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping none of these evolve and become disgusting because that has been a trend lately. Oh, somebody already did it.
You know they
the
will.
new bubble. Oh, yes. I'm retweeting that later.
Oh, that's cute.
So, yeah, I like the little grass kitty. It's so cute.
Yes.
The more I look at this duck, though, he looks like the bad guy in an anime. Like his little pose and his floofy hair, and I'm kind of loving it. Like, I'm excited to see their evolutions.
I think they all look adorable. I just hope they don't all become humanoid monsters again.
I think that this duck definitely is going to be humanoid. If he doesn't evolve into like a high school uniform, bad guy,
my goodness.
100%. And he's gonna have glasses that he's gonna push up.
You're probably right. But please don't do it to the fire type again. Every single
I
generation.
know.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm so tired of it. Please, no. Yes. But yeah. Well, I'm glad. We're all leading to the little gatito. It's so cute.
He's a cutie. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had a cat since Lytton. It's been 2 gens.
Yeah.
I love cats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so regular icebreakers. Nina, can you tell me the story behind your name?
The story behind my name?
Yeah.
Nina?
Whatever name you want to tell people is your name, if that even is your real name.
Well, it's not. Not technically.
I know. Tell them. I'm outing you.
It's the weirdest story. Like, I don't even understand it. I have been called Nina my entire life, and isn't that what a name really is? Like, my mom, my dad, my brothers, I'm Nina. But my name is not Nina, like legally. I'm named Margaret. I guess my mom had to name me Margaret because it was like a family thing. I'm not positive. And it's not even Margaret Nina. Nina's not even my middle name. It's Margaret Ann. And mom just decided to call me Nina because there was this is such a long story. There was a artist a long time ago in the New York Times who would draw caricatures of famous people. I think his name was Hirschfield? I'm going to have to look it up again.
His name wasn't Nina either?
No, but his daughter's name was Nina.
Oh.
And whenever he would sign the caricature, he'd put a number by his name, and that's how many times Nina would be hidden in the caricature. So you'd have to like look. It was like a little puzzle game of famous people. And mom just really liked the name Nina, but instead of naming me Nina, she just decided to call me Nina and name me Margaret Ann.
What?
Yeah, she's like, Nina is the Russian form of it. No, it's not, Mom. We're not even Russian. We're Irish. Like, we couldn't be more Irish if we tried. So I don't know. I don't know why she didn't name me Nina. Yeah. The whole world is a lie.
So she just got stuck with the tradition and then changed it right after.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows
Thanks,
that you've been living a lie
I have
the entire
been.
time.
We had to lie to the banks when I was little and tell them my middle name was was Nina, because I would babysit for people and they'd write checks for me for Nina, and the bank would be like, "Well, we're not cashing this. That's not your name." I'm like, "Yes, it is." It's horrific. It's the worst.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I run into the same thing where I'm just like, every job I apply for and go through their whole process, I'm just like, this is what I go by Chewy, like
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
But this is like legal name on everything because I'm like, I want to get paid, please. Give me the money. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I only get called Margaret at like doctor's offices, like Mom did say that if I wasn't Nina, I'd be Margot, short for Margaret, which is cute, but
That's fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, Nina, you're up.
Okay. Sergio,
Okay.
if you were your own NPC in Animal Crossing, not KK Slider, if you were your own thing, what like kind of shop would you run?
Okay, so I'm not KK and I have a shop there. You know what?
Or
I
what would
wanna
be your thing, I
sell.
guess?
I wanna sell. I'm blanking on the name. Oh man, scarves. I wanna sell scarves.
Scarves.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Different lengths, different designs. I mean, I'm limiting myself to like fall and winter, but let's do it. It's still worth it.
Oh, and
You
you
can
like
have a
weave
nice
them
light
yourself?
spring scarf.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Do they give you powers?
Uh, it depends. If you really believe that, sure.
You know what? Nina's gonna love this, but the only image I have in my mind right now is that Sly Fox Cooper or whatever. He's got a real good
Ah,
scarf.
He does. Oh,
yeah.
Sly Cooper. He's not a fox,
Yeah.
he's a raccoon.
Yeah, Raccoon Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
Sly. All right, Sergio, it's your turn.
All right, Chewy. If you were a flea, would you rather live on a dog or on a cat?
Oh.
Oh. I feel like both lives would be unfortunate because I think most people like get those things addressed pretty quickly.
Ah,
I'm
true.
gonna go out on a limb and guess that there are more stray cats than stray dogs.
Uh-huh.
And because of the probability, I'll get more mileage living on a cat. So yeah, I'd live on a cat, and also dogs really scratch a lot at them. I feel like cats they chill for a little while, but then they get their teeth in there.
Oh.
I'll still go with the cat. Still going with the cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like the
Mhm.
thought process behind that choice. Nice.
All right. Well, as promised, we're going to talk about some new artwork that we have gotten for Haken. Anybody watching on YouTube has seen it. If you've probably clicked on the podcast, I don't know how quickly it actually updates on podcast platforms. I try to get it up early enough so people can see it on the day that it debuts, But we have got some new artwork by a wonderful person named Hyacinth Gianni. Super adorable. I'm actually going to try to share it here for all of our live listeners on Discord right now. But Nina, Sergio, have I shown you Sergio yet? Did I
No.
forget to send it? Oh, yeah, wait, it's in the notes.
Yes.
That's what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, I was like, I feel like I didn't send it to you. Anyways, Nina, how are you feeling about this one?
It's so cute. It's so cartoony. I love
Yeah.
Gala laughing.
I always called her Gala? Gala?
Like the apple, right? G-A?
Yeah, like the apple.
Right.
Yeah. Her laughing is incredible. The mouth wide open. I love it
Yes.
so much. I don't know what she's laughing at. Is it that Hornsby can't get his hat? He can't reach his hat? Is his head too big? His arms are too short. I don't know. And I also love that who is that? Daisy? No, not Daisy.
Molly?
Molly, thank you.
Yeah.
Molly's over there like ADDing out of her mind. I love it. She has found a flower and has totally stopped listening to the conversation. And it's the best. It's so cute.
Yeah. You're totally right. I love just like their expressions this whole time.
Yes.
They're definitely like in the world experiencing their experiences. It's great.
So cute.
Sergio, how are you feeling about this one?
I like it a lot. It's very colorful. Like even in the text for Haken, like so many colors there. It's very nice. It makes me want to be right there with them. They're having a great time, and I wish I
Yeah.
was there. It's
Mm.
awesome.
Yeah, and I did also want to point out Hornsby's birthday, March 20th, and that is the
Ooh.
date that New Horizons came out, March 20th,
Aw.
2020. So always fun to see him pop up and
Mhm.
be here. And also, I did want to point out too, really cute little setting. Nice time to have a picnic. Enjoy, the grass is finally back. People are ready to go outside again.
Yeah.
So yeah, really
Yeah.
adorable little piece here. As always, we have links to the creator on Instagram and Etsy this time around. I've asked her if she could send over their website. I don't know if it's quite finished yet. I know they were working on a website for their artwork and everything. So maybe check back throughout the month while this piece is up, and I
Mhm.
will update it as soon as I do have that. But for now, Instagram and Etsy are there, so you can go and support in those places. Always a fun spot to stop by. And yeah, really, really cute piece for this one. I'm excited to have it for the month of March. Another anniversary here.
Ah.
I
Yeah.
can't. We'll be at 2 years of Animal Crossing New Horizons being out.
That's that's incredible.
So much has changed for the game
For
Yeah.
since
real.
this. Yeah, so we'll definitely have to talk about that more when it finally rolls around, that little
Mhm.
anniversary.
Mhm.
All right. Before we get into our main topic for today, we wanted to provide some quick reminders as well. The first one is going to be just for me. Yesterday was Festivale. If you're listening when this episode comes out, if you're listening live here, tomorrow is Festivale. So go and have some fun with Pave, do some dances, collect some feathers, do all the fun stuff. And yeah, Nina, I'll let you take it
Can't
away from
wait.
here.
Well, I also am going to back up a little because I looked up the artist and I've got to correct myself since I'm the art person. The artist from the New York Times was Al Hirschfeld, Hirschfeld. So
Mm.
he's got some amazing line art if you're into that. So look him up. He's cool. Um, Other than that, March seasonal items are looking super slim in the Nook Shopping Center. So I'm hoping this means that we'll see some new ones. I don't know. We got new ones in February, right? We got the Venice
Hmm.
mask.
Yeah.
I feel like we got other things too. But we've got the Hinamatsuri stuff from February 25th to March 3rd. We've had that before. Pie Day from March 1st to the 14th. That's a huge window to get a pie.
Yeah.
Which now that we have actual food pie items is a little less
Mm.
exciting. Shamrock Day, the 10th through the 17th, not a huge window to get the door hanger, the little Shamrock Shake and from McDonald's, and the Shamrock rug too. And then April Fool's Day, March 26th through April 1st, we still have the whoopee cushion. So
Mm.
it's just not a lot of stuff. I'm interested to see if anything happens.
Yeah. I don't know if we'll see anything beyond that. I mean, the the updates are definitely going to go unannounced, kind of
Mm-hmm.
seen by most people. It'll just really be like if you're keeping up with all of the news and stuff, but I don't know. It seems like this might be what's in the game for a while. I don't really foresee any major updates coming, even from the team working on other games too. So I
Mm.
think we may be entering that quiet Animal Crossing time that
Yeah.
it's a normal thing with the series that is like meant to be played for long periods of time. So yeah, just
Yeah.
just enjoy your time with the game, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to get back to it. You guys, I haven't been able to play as much as I want for my new town, and it's kind of, I'm ready for spring break just so that I can
Yeah,
play
there you
Animal
go.
Crossing the whole
Exactly.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That'll be good. You've got your new island to really dive into.
Yeah, I unlocked KK finally.
Oh, that's a
Nice.
big step.
It really is. And you guys, I know we'll talk about this more on an episode where we talk about it, but I remember it taking forever to unlock KK, or I guess it
Yes.
felt like forever. And
Yes.
I feel like I did it in under a week this time. It was crazy.
Oh.
I like, as soon
Wow.
as I unlocked the plaza, they're like, "Oh, well, here's KK," and I was like, "Wait, what?" It was unexpected. So I'm excited to talk more about that with you guys.
Yeah, me too. I'm really excited to just get your experiences with it too. Yeah, that'll be fun. So let's go ahead and get into our main topic for today, and that is all about Animal Crossing Online. And we've actually kind of talked about this before, but I thought it was a good time to bring it up again because Nintendo just announced that they're closing down the 3DS and Wii U eShops. And while they've kind of said that the online will still work for the quote unquote foreseeable future, we're
Mm.
not quite sure how long that foreseeable future is. And with so many Animal Crossings out and a couple that have already gone through like online closures, I figured it would be a good time to like recap a bit of like what we're missing now from those games now that those features don't exist, and what we can expect to lose from New Leaf, because that'll be the biggest game that's getting affected by the eventual closure of the online on the 3DS, which once again we don't know when that will be for actual gameplay, but we do know the eShops are closing. So really quickly, my first PSA for you, public service announcement right here, is if you have an old copy of a New Leaf out there that somehow has not gotten updated to the Welcome Amiibo update, just go and do that.
Yeah.
Do that before it's not able to be done anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great update, really adds a ton to the game, definitely worth going and doing that. All new copies of the game at this point are sold as the Welcome Amiibo version, so you don't have to worry about this if you've bought the game recently or anything. So yeah, not a huge thing there, but yeah, just in general, if there's stuff on the 3DS or Wii U eShops that you have been eyeing for years at this point, now might be the time to say, maybe I will finally get this and buy it and add it to my collection. I just, on Nintendo Noise this past week, I made a huge list of stuff that's like, you
Ooh.
might as well download these things now because they're gonna be lost.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And whenever these things close down too, like all the physical copies start to disappear, they get grabbed up really, really quickly, and then there's no way to get them unless you pay a lot more than what their original prices were. So it's just something that happens, unfortunately. So yeah, that's my PSA for all of you. The biggest thing here is update those New Leaf versions to the latest one so it works as well as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into talking about Animal Crossing Online. And I actually got to do some really fun research with it. One thing I wanted to start with is all the games for Animal Crossing that have online. And honestly, it's been most of them. Outside of like the first game on N64 and GameCube, they've all basically have had online. So Wild World, we had it. Unfortunately, online is shut down on that one. City Folk had online, also shut down. Thank you, either Nina or Sergio, for writing Animal Crossing Plaza. Completely gone. You can no longer download that game at all
Yeah.
unless you had previously downloaded it. I was always sad that I didn't get my Wii U in time to have access to that, so I can't play that at all.
Ugh.
New Leaf also has online. Happy Home Designer had online. Amiibo Festival, you all know we don't talk about that one. Pocket Camp also has online, funny enough, still
Yeah.
to this day. New Horizons also has online. So yeah, every Animal Crossing game that was playable, and not Animal Crossing Calculator had some online functionality. So I wanted to start by asking both of you, what was your experience with online in Animal Crossing? Sergio, do you want to kick us off here?
Sure thing. And I would say for the most part, it's been to keep in touch with friends when I have been away. I guess the biggest example of that was with Wild World. I kept in touch with a close friend of mine when I was in on Washington State for a year for college, and luckily enough, that's when Wild World came out and it had online. You could text
Mm-hmm.
through the game, so that was very convenient. For the other games, not so much per se. Now with social media and more ways to stay in touch, I gravitated towards that. But definitely, it's been to keep in touch with friends, and I feel like that's been a recurring thing for us here in Haken and Animal Crossing players in general. It's just to keep in touch with friends and to make new friends through this approach as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the one thing they've always like really nailed with this game is just like the ability to create communities around it.
Yes,
And
exactly.
yeah, you can find communities all over the place that are playing Animal Crossing in a bunch of different ways, and yeah, so many nice people out there to trade with and visit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nina, what has been your experience with online and Animal Crossing?
Well, like pre New Leaf and New Horizons, not much. Like Sergio said, like before there was social media and stuff, I didn't really have a lot of reason to play online. We'll get into that, I guess. And for New Leaf and New Horizons, that's when it was really starting to all get digital and for there to be communities online. I did not have friends in real life who played New Leaf. So just kind of made friends online and do have friends in real life who play New Horizons and have made amazing friends online through
Yeah.
that. So, yeah, I do miss playing like mini games on Tortimer Island, but mostly Animal Crossing Online is with friends.
Yeah, definitely. I lean that way as well, where a lot of my playtime was like visiting friends. I definitely feel like that started happening a lot more for me when New Leaf came out. So it was definitely like New Leaf and New Horizons felt like more of the online stuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then
Right.
it was like I wish I could have done it more with Wild World, but like I think back to those days, and I'm just like, mm, I feel like my family still had like dial up. And I don't think we even had the internet. I remember specifically like sitting outside, like on at the corner of my house because I was able to connect to somebody's Wi-Fi and play like Mario
Oh,
Kart
no
online.
way.
Yeah, and I was like, cool, I can play Mario Kart against other people, and that was awesome. So, unfortunately, a lot harder to connect with people on Wild World, but had that been something I could do, I would have done it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So I wanted to ask you both as well. Did you get any chances to play Wild World or City Folk online? Nina, did you?
I did for both of them, but not often. Like I visited a few towns with both games of people I like friends of friends that I kind of knew just so that we could like both experience visiting and traveling, but it really wasn't anything too memorable. And I used the Wii Speak a couple of times
Mm.
with City Folk, but again, this was like pre like internet connections, like pre really knowing people in the video game scene, I guess. And it just I don't know, I just didn't use it a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. It felt like very early on in
Yeah.
this like online world, especially for like Nintendo, you know.
Mhm.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Um, because as I was looking at stuff again, I was reminded Nintendo's this was the second Nintendo game to have online, Wild World. Literally, the first one was Mario Kart DS, and then
Wow.
Wild World.
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
So it's literally the birth of online for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sergio, what about you? Did you get a chance to play either of these online?
Yes, but very limited also. So for Wild World, it was to stay in touch with a friend, like I mentioned. But this was a couple of months before the DS Lite came out, and
Oh.
for me, the original DS wasn't too bright. Like the screens weren't too bright, and I had a hard time with that game. That's really why I really didn't play Wild World that much, and that's also why I didn't play it in general and why I didn't play it online. And for City
Mm.
Folk, I did use it a couple of times. A friend of mine, the same friend of mine, came over and we used the Wii Speak also. But he wasn't too into the game as much, so he didn't really want me to visit his town because he said he wasn't very like developed.
Mm.
And I don't think I ever visited anyone's town. He came over a few times and we used the Wii Speak, but that was it. So very
Mm.
limited in Wild World and even less so in City Folk. But yeah, I did get a chance to try both of them at least.
Yeah, you should have taken more advantage of that Wii Speak. I never got it, but I was always like, that's pretty
It
cool.
worked really
We
well. Yeah.
One of the few Nintendo games with voice chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It did kind of sound like this might be my memory kind of jading it. So correct me if I'm wrong, Sergio, but it did kind of sound like an old-timey phone, right? It was
Yes.
like a radio almost.
Yes, exactly.
It was
What?
bizarre, but I mean it
I didn't even
worked,
know
but it
that.
was bizarre.
I didn't even know that. That's so
Yeah.
weird. Now I'm gonna have to look up videos and see this thing
I mean, if
in
you
the
can find
works.
like real video, like on the commercials, it was like crystal clear,
Right,
you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
But it was definitely old school sounding
That's amazing.
because it was so teeny, Like, how could it
Yeah.
have sounded good?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess from the boxes I always imagined it being bigger than it is, but
Right.
now that you mention it, I'm like, oh, it must have been small.
It
Like a
was
small
small.
little speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like once again, my experiences, Wild World didn't get to connect too much, mostly like local multiplayer with friends who had
Yeah.
it. So I mean, pretty similar experience, not quite the same. And then City Folk, I definitely did a little bit more. By then,
Hmm.
I had a friend that I could visit, but even with that one, I was like, I still don't know too many people that I can play with, so
Yeah.
it was limited. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so I do remember when the online was closing down. I got to visit. I think it was, they're called like Red Panda Gamer or something, and I got to visit them. They were playing City Folk for 365 days, and one of their
Whoa.
last streams
Oof.
was just like rid of everything they accumulated
Oh.
in that time. And
Wow.
yeah, so I was like, there's a little video of me out there dressed up like a cat. And I had my tan going on in the game at that point because I was playing
Aw.
a lot too. So yeah, it was a fun little thing to do, an experience with people too, because a bunch
Yeah.
of people were going over to visit
Oh,
that
wow,
place.
nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So I did want to tell you all about some of the things that you can no longer do in Wild World and City Folk because the the online is gone. So there are some features that are just inaccessible at this point, and I'll start with Wild World. The first one I want to talk about, it's technically still accessible through local only, but you on the original copies on the DS for Wild World, you can no longer upgrade to nooking tins through the online. So
Ah.
Yeah.
one of the big requirements to get nooking tins in Wild World is that you have to have somebody shop at your Nooks store in order to have that happen. So it's still possible because there is local multiplayer, so
Mm-hmm.
you can have like a local person come and shop there, but you cannot do it through online.
Hmm.
And this is also something that got changed in the Wii U version of Wild World. So
Oh.
if you have the Virtual Console Wild World, it is no longer a requirement to have somebody shop at your place in order to upgrade to Nickingtons because the Wii U one doesn't connect locally or online.
Right.
There's just no multiplayer in that version of the game. So yeah, just something to note for that game. You technically cannot complete it unless you meet that multiplayer restriction, and that's a little bit more difficult to do because
Yeah.
you don't have online to do so.
Oh, that means that like some Pokemon games are the same. Like you have to trade to get Gengar, right?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
the rock guy. Oh my gosh, my names today. I can't do the names today.
Graveler
Yes.
into
So they're like you just can't get them anymore.
yeah,
Golem.
unless you connect locally,
Right.
which
Yeah.
is the only option. Or go real old school with the other versions and get yourself some link cables.
There you
know?
go.
I used to have so many link cables back in the day. It was like my most bought little accessory.
Oh my gosh, they're gonna be real expensive on eBay all of a sudden.
Oh, I know. And I honestly, I don't even know where half of them are anymore. Somewhere lost in my parents' place. So the next thing I want to talk about too is there were actually some downloadable items in the Wild World game. Now these were obtained by going to places that were set up as like hotspot points with Nintendo. So if you'll recall, like going to like a McDonald's or something that was like a street pass thing, they did the same kind of thing with Wild World. And this feature was like predating Street Pass on 3DS, but definitely like the early ideas for how it would work. I think with the 3DS, it was called Spot Pass later. So,
Right.
Just going to a location that would distribute some special items and that sort of thing. So the thing that Wild World had that was unique was tag mode, which was the original Spot Pass as well. So this would allow you to basically, if you passed another player, kind of similarly to Street Pass, you would exchange notes in bottles. So those bottle messages that you would get on the beach in Wild World, you could actually write your own, send those out, and people who would pass you would get those as well.
Ugh,
and you would get theirs in return. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's like it just doesn't exist like that anymore. It's super sad.
Yeah.
But the other thing that they did that was very unique was those same distribution points, like if you went to a McDonald's or whatever was set up to give you special Nintendo things, that was the only way that you could get the 6 monkey villagers that were in Wild World.
What?
Yeah, apparently you couldn't get them unless
What?
you did like these distribution things. So the monkeys in that game were Champ, Elise, Monty, Nana, Simon, and Tammy. And Champ is the only one of those monkeys that has not returned to the
Right.
series. All of them are still in there except for Champ. But yeah, you cannot get those characters. They are also still not in the Virtual Console version of Wild World. So even on the Wii U, you cannot obtain those characters. Like they are just lost to those games. You
This
cannot
is
get them.
news to me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I honestly didn't know either until I was like looking into it. So yeah, the tag mode, definitely not something I was aware of way back when this game was
Yeah.
out. I
Wow.
didn't know about it, so there was like no way for me to get a sweet monkey villager. Like it
Yeah.
almost makes me like them even more.
Yeah.
And so yeah, especially Champ. Champ he's in the movie. He's
Yes.
in these games, but you just can't get him. Can't get him
Mm.
anymore. And then the other thing in Wild World that you are going to have a lot more trouble doing at this point, and I don't even know if it'll be possible, but Katie and Caitlin would visit. Caitlin is the mama cat to Katie, the daughter cat, and one friend would get Caitlin, the mom, and the other friend would get Katie, and you just have to kind of hope that you all get into communication with each other and know that you each have one of the pairs, right? So Caitlin, the mom, will actually tell you that the name of the town where she got separated with Katie.
Oh.
So the person with Caitlin would know, like, oh, I have to reach out to this person. They have Katie, and we have to reunite them. The person with Katie she has no idea where her mom is gone. She's
Ah.
just a little kid, lost and alone in your town, completely gone, right? So you have to hope once again you get contacted by that friend with Caitlin, and then you can escort Katie to your town
Aw.
gate and send her off to reunite with her mom, Caitlin. Fun little things about this. If you talk to Katie, she'll start following you to, the town gate. But if you walk too quickly, she'll fall
Aw.
behind and then she'll trip and fall and stop following
Aw.
you. So you have to make sure you don't walk too quickly.
Aw.
Otherwise, she's just a little kitty.
That's
She's
how
not
she
she
got
can't keep
lost in
up.
the first place.
Aw.
Exactly. She's a little baby. She can't keep up. She's small. So yeah, walk slowly with her. But yeah, that is how basically you would get that little prizes from them if you reunite
Right.
them.
Mhm.
It's all gone, basically. I don't think you can do it now that online is removed forever. And we haven't seen Katie or Caitlin return in quite the same way since then
Mm-mm.
either.
Yes.
We did get Katie in New Leaf, but yeah, it didn't quite work the same.
Yeah.
Definitely a little bit easier to pull off because it is a lot to ask for people to be like, hey, what time are you free today? Because this is happening,
Yeah.
you know? Um, so yeah, those are some things that are gone from Wild World. Definitely really awesome things that are unfortunately lost to time now.
Mhm.
So yeah, City Folk had some different things as well. So some of them are obviously shared with Wild World because they were very similar games, but Katie and Caitlin were the big shared ones between those. Worked the same between both of those games. The other things that City Folk had that are kind of unique to it was the Happy Room Academy, one of the earlier iterations of the Happy Home. I guess what would you call that? Happy Home Association. The Happy Room Academy in the city, you actually had the ability to see your friends' Happy Room Academy scores if you had online. So
Mm.
all of the scores could be shared. I couldn't find confirmation on this, but I do think that the showroom in the Happy Room Academy would sometimes show your friends' rooms if they were the highest scoring room.
I think
Um,
that's true.
yeah, so I do think that was something that would happen. So you could get into a little competition with your friends, try to get the highest scoring room, take over their happy home showcase or happy room showcase for the month. So yeah, definitely something that was cool to do. No longer can do that because there is no online. The other thing was the auction house. We've talked about this before. Even when it did work, nobody knew how to get it to work. So, not quite something that was well used or loved in that game, but it
Mm.
was a very cool idea where you could put up an item and then players online would bid for that item, and the highest bid would then get it. Um, I would love if they revisited this idea and actually made it something that worked because
Yeah.
I think it'd just be fun to do, like, just put up little trades, get some money here on the side every week, right?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then the last thing that City Folk got was also a whole slew of DLC, which was just a bunch of downloadable items that were unique. Some of them kind of surprised me, actually. I think they might have later been added through an update, but some of them were even like the Jingle television was originally like not an item that was in that base game. I think it was just something you had to like download during the season. So yeah, just a ton of different items that came in City Folk, and now I don't know if they're in the game at this point, but I'm pretty sure they're not. It's all just gone, and none of it works. So yeah, I guess I wanted to get obviously into talking about New Leaf as well. There's some bigger features that are going to be removed from New Leaf, and once the online goes away. I'd say the biggest ones are Club Tortimer, which is the online version of the island mini games where you can just connect with random people online. And then there's the dream address function,
Ooh.
which is, it's something people can use to this day in New Horizons. It's a feature that's still in there, but you can just go to random dream addresses, see people's places, what they've done. And then there's, of course, the online visits that you can have with friends and family. And then finally, there are actually rewards that are tied to some of those things. For example, the Phineas badges. If you have not
Oh.
visited all of these dream addresses, there's no way that you'll be able to complete
Oh.
that Phineas badge once the online shuts down in that game. You will have to just live your life without it. That
Yeah.
is how it'll go. But there are ways around, of course, the online visit badges because you do get some for hosting friends and visiting friends. You can still do all of those locally. So
Right.
if you are a completionist and really want to get all the badges in that game, you better start visiting some dream addresses. They're gonna be gone one day. It's gonna be over. You won't be able to 100% that game after that.
Man, I really liked the badges. I kind of miss that. Like, I know we have the Nook
Yeah.
Miles rewards, but
Yeah.
something fun about them kind of being physical in the game. I liked them.
Yeah, the badges are a real, like, especially my dream for Animal Crossing, and specifically like the clothing in Animal Crossing in the future, is just like being able to accessorize in a better way. And like if they brought back the badges and made it like a little patch that you could put on your jean jacket or something,
Ah, yeah.
Mm.
I would be all about that.
Or on your book
I
bags.
Yeah, put it on your book bags, put them all over the place. Get those patches. Show off your accomplishments, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would definitely love that. But yeah, I guess this is a good time to ask you both, like, what were your favorite online features in New Leaf? Sergio, you can start.
Well, honestly, I would say my favorite was the basic town visiting. It wasn't any better per se than Wild World or City Folk. I mean, it was in a way because it's a later system and things are more stable, even though we still had like connection issues every now and then. But just the fact that more people were playing online and it was easier to be part of a community because
Mm,
of that, to me that made it so much more significant, the fact that you could just visit someone's town to buy or sell turnips, or when a certain item was paying extra if you sold it, and just having people be like more connected because of those things. It was awesome. Just having like being able to open your town gate and letting people in. It was amazing. I definitely,
Mm.
that was my favorite online feature from New Leaf.
yeah, and they brought the train back for it.
Yes.
Ah, yeah. The train was so cute.
Yeah, such a good, just a great setting to
Mhm.
have travel happen, you know?
Yeah.
Nina, what were some of your favorites?
I I mean, of course, I loved doing the Tortimer Island mini games, but I also really enjoyed the little happy homes. I liked that they
Mm,
let us order items from the homes, like as long as they weren't, like specialty items or unlockables or whatever. That was really really cool. That I feel like kind of gets slept on sometimes. People forget that we used to. It was like we could order 5 a day, right? Just like the
mm-hmm.
Nook shopping. Um,
Yeah.
and after a while, the homes all kind of seemed to look the same. But when the game first came out, that it was like, oh, what new items am I going to find in this house? It was awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And the part that's like really sad is like we're never gonna see like Spot Pass come back to
Mm.
where like they sent us Reggie's house. For some reason,
Yeah.
I didn't have Reggie's house favorited and it got booted from my happy home place, and now I'm just like, oh, I wish I had that, you know?
Oh,
Um,
I feel like I still have it if you ever need to visit.
yeah. Well, the thing is, like, we can't
Oh, we
once
can't
we're
anymore.
there. Yeah, we can't even.
Yeah.
We can't even go into each other's like happy home showcases.
Oh, gosh. Never mind.
Yeah, so it's over for me. I'm done.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd say for me, it was definitely like I loved playing the mini games with people. I mean, just like knowing that if you got first place, you got extra of the island
Yes.
medal
Yeah.
currency things. I was just like, yes, bring on the competition. We need to win. And there's obviously like the games where you're like cooperative, and those are fun too, but they
No.
didn't quite pay as much.
Mm-mm.
So you're like, nah, give me the competition here.
It was fun.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, like I really liked how connected we were able to become with this game because there were so many rare items that we could get from people online, especially the ones that like only came out in Japan. Like from all of those 7-Eleven promotional things. There's straight up 7-Eleven furniture in the game. Like and then they had the like schoolhouse book theme. Do you remember those things?
Hmm.
Mm, wait, say it again?
There's like 7-Eleven
Oh,
furniture, there was
yes.
like school book furniture, and all of that stuff
Yes.
only came out in Japan.
Yeah.
Well, but then they came out. They like for a while you could only get them from Happy Home, I think. But then they
Hmm.
like pushed them out to everyone else somehow. I can't. Was it
It
like
might
a
have been
Nook
the Welcome
Shopping?
Amiibo update.
I feel like it was
Maybe.
earlier than that. Oh my gosh, now it's gonna
Really?
bother me because I had them all. I remember getting them all. Like
Oh.
there was a couch that was a multi-sided eraser or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a really popular, like brand, like school item brand in
Hmm.
Japan that now I can't think of the name
Ah.
of it. I can't think of names today, you guys. I don't know why. Um,
That's all right.
but it was like a weird collab. But oh my gosh, now I got
Yeah.
to think about how I got all those items.
Yeah, well, I knew you could trade with them, trade for them
Mm,
online, definitely.
yeah.
And then they'd like show up in your catalog and stuff. And that's how people eventually got them. They use like duplication glitches and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was so cool to like have a whole slew of items that only came out in certain places, like even during holidays around the world, you know? Things would come out, and then you'd have to go to a place, like somebody's place who played in a different, I guess, country, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, there was so much that felt connected in a way that like New Horizons, I really appreciate the way they did it, where it's just like, yeah, let's learn about other countries, other regions, and get their items, you know. But I
Mhm.
also didn't mind the past where it was like you met people online and they're from different parts of the world, and they're like, oh yeah, this is going on in my game, do you want to come by and check it out? And you're like, yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's an online connection that we're not getting quite the same experience from. So, or Sergio, were you gonna say something?
No, no.
Oh, okay. I did want to ask you both too to end it off here. What are some things you'll miss about online in New Leaf? Nina, we'll start with you.
I'm still over here trying to Google what this furniture was called. It's driving me insane. I'm gonna miss the international holidays. I loved
Mm.
how in New Leaf they were region locked, which I know wasn't great for everybody, especially if you couldn't find someone to go and visit. But I thought it was like a
Mm-hmm.
really interesting way of getting people to connect and then really making those items kind of like limited because you'd have to get them from Isabel in a certain country on a certain day. And it was just cool. It was a lot of the international Nook shopping items that we have now were so limited back in New Leaf, which I enjoyed. I'm going to miss that.
Yeah. Just like I was saying, it's a cool way to connect with other people that we
Mm-hmm.
don't have anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least not to the same extent where it is actually region locked, you know?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Sergio, what are you gonna miss?
I'm gonna miss the online mini games at Tortimer's Island, but with friends, because it was better with friends for
Mm.
sure. I remember Chu, you and I think some members from Haken, we played them once together, and it was fun. I mean, we
Yeah.
played it through live stream, so it's just a lot more fun with friends. I know in New Horizons we kind of like make our own mini games, like last episode we talked about Last Crosser Standing, and there's
Hmm.
some similar islands dedicated to just games like that. But having like a specific official mini games was pretty fun in New Leaf, and I think before they go down, we should have like a mini game fest with everyone in Haken that has
Oh.
New
Definitely.
Leaf. I'm looking forward to
Oh,
that.
yes, I was thinking this the whole time you were talking. I was just like, we need to play these again.
Yes.
And I think we'll have to do it like over the course of like a week or so because the games change on a daily basis, like
Yes.
what's available.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, just to experience them all, make sure there's some recordings out there of all the games so people know. Well, I guess they'll still be accessible, but
Right.
not the online versions. That's different.
Yeah.
Ah, the Campus series. That's what they're called. The brand is called
Oh,
Campus.
that makes sense.
Oh
Oh,
my
that
gosh.
feels like too obvious.
Yeah. Gosh, there was even like a table made out of not a protractor. It's like a triangle that that's like a ruler, but it's a triangle.
Mm.
There were some incredible series. Ah, so it looks like it might have just been through Happy Home Academy that you were able to order them,
Ah.
which
Mm.
is interesting because usually stuff like that wasn't orderable in Happy Home Academy. What am I trying to say? So I know there's some interesting things.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. My thing that I'm gonna miss is the villager trade. It just
Mm.
Ooh.
I don't think it was. I don't think it'll ever take off quite like it did in New Leaf, but just like seeing people trade millions and millions of bells
Oh my
for
gosh.
villagers was just it was quite a world. I don't think I'll ever join in again, but just I don't know. It was a fun time for Animal Crossing where people were just like, I
Yeah,
really
right.
want this villager, sell them to me. Everybody putting their villagers up on big tumblers that were dedicated to that. It was a wild world.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh my
There you go.
gosh.
It was a new leaf world. All right, everybody. Well, let's go ahead and move into Haken's Islander Corner. For those of you who don't know, every single week we ask our patrons on Patreon a question and read their answers out loud here on the show for you. This week's question was, one character on Harv's Island can open a shop in town. Who do you choose? So I think people were excited about this one. We got a lot of answers,
Oh
tons to go
yay.
through. Let's go Sergio, then me, then Nina.
Sounds good. So the first answer is by Stephanie, and they said, I would love to have Cyrus and Reese open up a shop on the island. I use the customization service so much, it would be nice to not have to fly to Harv's to get something customized. And then maybe Reese could have more of a role. Maybe she could run the shop and sell more specialty and rare furniture items, which would be really nice for players who didn't get the DLC to have more access to furniture choices like most of us are getting from the Happy Home Paradise shop. Those are very good points, and I can definitely tell if you customize a lot of items, having to go to Harv's and like making sure you have as much room in your pockets as possible. I'm sure it can get annoying, so that would be awesome to have on your island for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just so many people travel there just to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah, making it a lot easier to access might be to people's benefit.
Yeah.
So Music Pebbles said, crazy/jolly red. No reason. I just love that shady fox. Although it might be fun for him to sell other shady items other than art, like knockoff furniture, wallpaper, or floors, or he could have his own brand of items that are knockoffs, just like the generic brands do in grocery stores. That's a really fun idea. And honestly, like some of
Uh,
it takes me back to the first game where Red would have like really rare things
Hmm.
on most occasions, but they were marked up so much. It was just really expensive to get those. and oh man, bells were hard to come by in that first game. So it was difficult to shop over there, but always worth it.
Matthew says, I would say Katrina because you don't run out of things to buy there, especially if they could add another feature or two to her shop with the permanent location. This is interesting. I want to know what else Matthew would like to see.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we got more of her little good luck charms. But I think they could add even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
We used to have like little outfits she would give us. That could be fun again.
Ooh.
I would love that.
Summon Slot said, leave, but only if he brings more plant furniture items with him. Even if he doesn't, I'll still like him on the island. He has good vibes. He definitely does. You gotta do what makes you happy. That's his phrase, and I agree with that a lot.
I think he'd have the cutest little shop. Like if he had a little building.
Yeah.
I think he'd never be in there also. He'd just be outside.
True. I would like that too. HH said, I loved everyone else's answers, and my initial thought was Leaf because give me all the greenery, but Red. Imagine all the backdoor dealings and sketchy dialogue we would get from him. His shop could even have a back room that after you spent enough money with him, you could play cards in an illegal gambling ring or buy some off-the-market art.
This is incredible.
I love the direction this took. Suddenly, I'm Team Red here.
I've always been Team Red. That's incredible. Naomi says, kicks for sure. I would love for his shop to rotate each day like it did in New Leaf. It would be with the Ables, or it should be with the Ables at least. That would be nice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like a little add-on.
Yeah.
I feel like there's room in there for him even if they don't make the building any bigger, he could be in a corner.
Yeah, and they did a good job like expanding his selection of stuff, so
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's definitely something they should do.
Yeah.
Figment said, Reese and Cyrus for sure. The retail shop was one of my favorites from New Leaf, and honestly, I was a little disappointed to see that they had been downgraded to a smaller role in New Horizons. It would be awesome if they could find a shop or build a shop on your island, specializing in reselling items and also selling different variants of items. There's a noticeable alpaca-shaped hole in our islands that needs to be filled. I agree, and the song or the music in their shop was amazing, and I miss it so much. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, I think I'll have to listen to it closely, but I think like I'm not sure if I was just hearing things, but maybe Harv's Island mixes a little bit of that tune in there. I think it does happen when they visit, right? For wedding season?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah, so I'll have to listen more closely, but I got the impression that it did sneak its way into the soundtrack.
Interesting.
Also,
cool.
I miss like the consignment shop aspect to Reese and Cyrus's too. Like being able to just put stuff up for sale.
That's true. And really mark it up.
Nina, were you going to say something else on that?
I was, and now I can't remember.
Oh, sorry. I totally had just hopped in. That's all right.
No.
All right. So Pip said, Harv will move to your island. Harv will work with Isabel and Tom Nook on the next DLC, the relocation project. This project will begin with Step 1. Island expansion. Raise enough bells, a lot of bells, to get expansion permits. Step 2, we must collect materials as well as approval signatures to build the shops. Not all approved villager signatures will come easy. Step 3, placing shops on islands. Step 4, designing inside of shops. Step 5, final celebration of the completed island starring KK Slider once again.
Big yes to that.
Wow.
I love it. Like, I honestly thought that expanding the island would be something that would come to New Horizons, just because I was like, all right, well, we've already done home expansions for years and years now. Like, the only way to go any bigger is literally expanding the land that we live in. So I imagine that might be something they play with the next game. I hope that it is, but
yes.
I don't know. For now, I love this idea, Pip, and I want it to happen.
Man, how cute would it be too for like the days? Maybe it takes like a week for the island to get built after you've paid it off, and you can see like little excavators working and stuff.
Oh yeah, the little OK Motors crew.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh my
OK
gosh.
Construction.
Okay, land reclamation or whatever it's called.
I want those little guys to come back. They're so
Aw,
cute.
They are
Yes.
cute. And I want them to just argue with each other the entire time.
Definitely.
Nadir says, Harriet, it's a stretch, but I'd love for her to come by with a salon, more hairstyles. We need more dye options, maybe even gradients and highlights, hats, and it'd be a dream to have a new option where we could finally get piercings and earrings on. That would be cool. Harriet and her tattoo parlor.
Yeah. Yeah, just more ways to give us our customization options. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that is all of our answers that we're reading for today. But if you are a patron, look forward to next week where you can answer what is something you'll miss about playing New Leaf online. So this will be for anybody who, just got into the series back then, played the games, and just won't be able to do the same things they could when the online worked. And I also want to say once again, reminder, the eShops are closing. Online is going to work for the foreseeable future. We'll see how it goes. But
Right.
as far as buying things, downloading new things, that's going to stop working. It's just not going to happen anymore.
Yeah.
So we'll have to get our online play in as much as possible before it inevitably closes, because I'm sure that will happen eventually. But, hopefully we don't have to worry about it for a little while. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. If you're sad to see us go, join us over on Discord. You can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio, Nina, and me. Want to support Haken in a bigger way and tell us your answers in the Haken Islander Corner? Head over to patreon.com/chewyplays. $1 goes a long way to making this show even better and includes tons of goodies for you to enjoy. Get a special role on Discord, read a monthly newsletter, and get many other great rewards. We really appreciate the support and put your money towards some great things on the show. If you're listening on YouTube, what is something you'll miss about playing New Leaf online? Reviews really help the show get discovered by more people. Please leave a review on your platform of choice and let us know how we're doing. Haken is a wild production brought to you by Chewy, Sergio, Nina, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you all next time.